On today's episode, I have Holly here with me with Positive Living Coaching. Welcome, Holly.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes, so let's get to it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Like you said,
Absolutely.
my company is called Positive Living Coaching, and I have a huge component with positive living because I believe life is just so short to not enjoy
Yeah,
it, not to really work through the stuff that we need to work through in life.
yeah,
So the people that I work with is women who've experienced childhood trauma, and we just dive in and work through stuff. And the women that I work with, because I'm not a therapist,
yeah.
they definitely have had to have some sort of therapy or processing it.
Okay,
If they're still in the midst of it, I definitely want them to work with a therapist
yeah,
or work in conjunction with a therapist.
okay.
But there's a lot of people who have done that, but then they're still feeling stuck. That inner critic is still coming up, that self-doubt and all of that stuff. So I help them just work through all of that.
That's so amazing. And how long have you been doing that for?
So my company, I actually started in 2018, but I
Okay,
had a different focus back then. My biggest mission in life, and I still believe in this and going to get back to it, but
yeah.
is raising emotionally healthy children.
Ah, I love
Just,
that.
yeah, because raising emotionally healthy children, they have less crap that they need to get over
Yep,
when they're an
yes.
adult.
Yeah,
So I kind of struggled. I had a full-time job when I was doing it, and I struggled with, kind of like the chicken and egg story, what comes
yeah,
first. So I was going back and forth between working, I was always working with parents. I wasn't working with the children. But do we focus on raising emotionally healthy children and parenting techniques or healing the trauma?
yeah.
And just positive living in general, which there's a few things that I really want to talk to you about today,
Yeah,
just from
I know. I'm
listening to some of your
excited.
podcasts.
Yes.
Yeah, but I ended up making a shift in February with making this really a focus on my full-time focus. And
Okay.
I kind of revamped, I redid my website, I redid my messaging, I created a couple of additional courses and my coaching program itself. And it's just really healing from childhood trauma. It's
Yeah,
something
that's so
that,
amazing.
yeah, and it's something that all too many of us focus or not focus on, but have experienced.
Yeah,
And it's life is too short.
absolutely. I know that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
And that's actually one of the things that I did want to start with because
yeah,
I know that when you and I were talking about doing this podcast, you had kind of taken a little bit of a break with
yeah.
some of the things because of what's gone on in your year. And so I just really want to ask how you're doing with everything.
I'm actually doing pretty good. Some days are better than others. I feel like I'm very fortunate and I feel very blessed that I have the tools to navigate. It makes it a lot easier. It's just going that shift of knowing what I know, but then allowing myself to feel that too, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
absolutely.
It's just, I keep telling myself one day at a time, one day at a time. And I have the
Hmm.
most amazing support system, everybody, the community, my family, friends. It's just been unreal. And that is one thing too. Grief changes people.
Yeah.
And it's really sad to me because I see how the loss of someone changed so many people I was so close to.
Yeah.
And I keep telling myself, like, I'm like, it doesn't matter how painful or how, like, the worst of the worst, like, I could never just do that to people
Hmm.
and push them out. But also, I understand everybody handles grief differently too. And so
Right.
I've just backed off and allowed them to have the space to heal in the timing that they need to heal. But
Right.
it was really hard because I didn't just lose Austin, I lost people that were really close to me too. And I do believe that sometimes it comes back in a circle. We're all healing at different lengths.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, but I'm doing
Absolutely.
good. I miss him like crazy. And
Yeah.
there's not a day that goes by that I'm not replaying memories or
Yeah.
conversations in my head,
Yeah.
but I've learned how to turn that into good instead of allowing myself to spiral and cry. I'm
Right.
finding the good in it, and I've noticed the shift where it makes me happy. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a couple things that I'm thinking is one, feeling your feelings.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that you've talked about, and I think is so important. so often, and some of these people that if isolation is something that they do, sometimes
Yeah.
they are shoving things down and not
Oh,
letting it
yeah.
out, even if they're feeling it and they're in it, but they're not really expressing it sometimes. And
Yeah.
then it's almost like a pressure cooker happens.
And I knew I didn't want that to happen. You got to feel it to heal it. And I was
Yeah.
somebody who my entire life pushed things down. I'm
Yeah.
okay, keep going.
I'm
And
fine.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That was one of mine. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Don't want to talk about it. My family didn't really talk about emotions and you're
Hmm.
okay and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I have really allowed myself to feel it and cry if I really want to cry. But then I know, okay, now it's time. I'll sit in it and feel it. And then it's okay. Now let's keep moving forward.
Right, right.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I did, and I know you also have a brother that you lost to
Yeah.
suicide. One of my dear friends had a sister that she lost to suicide.
Okay.
And as time went on, and I hadn't really experienced any loss like that ever. So it was just seeing all that she went through, my heart absolutely went out to her. And she said something to me one day that just stuck with me. She said, and I hate these words, but I think it's
Yeah.
so common for people to say, get over things.
Oh, yeah.
And she said, it's something I've learned I'm never going to get over, but I'm learning how to live with it.
Yep. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that again, that was 20 years ago or more, and that really
Yeah. I
left
think
an
knowing that a part of me died when Austin died and
yeah,
learning, like you said, to live with it. And I really am
yeah,
trying to find the good in because I do understand that we're all connected and he's still here. I
mhm,
also noticed I'm very aware from all the healing that I've done and I continue to do. I was kind of becoming obsessed with getting home, going to bed, trying to connect with him every night and meditating. And I was like,
mhm,
okay, Tosh, time to pull it back because it was almost becoming like an obsession.
yeah,
And so I am very aware in that way where if I kind of get going with some, okay, and I knew I needed to pull back. So now
right,
it's just kind of here and there. And every time, I mean, anytime I really talk to him or want to connect with him, he always comes through. It's, I'm doing good, but yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, just allowing yourself to feel those feelings in that
Yeah.
moment when they're coming up and not pushing
Yeah.
them down. I just think that is so important. So I'm really glad that you're there. And I'm
Thank
really
you.
glad that you're back doing podcasts
Yeah.
as you see fit. I know your audience is going to know and respect it. And I
Yeah.
also know that you showing up is going to help the listeners. So,
Yeah, thank you. And I
yeah,
love podcasting. It was probably like is too one of my favorite things to do. I
yeah,
love having conversations with people, getting their stories out there.
yeah,
I love talking. I love just connection. And
yeah,
Austin, as you listen to some of our episodes,
yeah,
he was all about people and just
yeah,
connection and love. And so, yeah, like we talked about earlier, it was hard for me hearing back, playing back my recent episodes because I'm like, who
yeah,
is that? It's just everybody has always said, you're the most positive person I know. You have so much
yeah,
energy. And it's almost just like my energy. And it still is. I can feel it in me,
yeah,
but that's okay. I'm like, this
right.
is me right now and where I'm at. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's such an important point just in general with healing.
yeah,
I think a lot of us will sometimes shame ourselves, sometimes kick ourselves when we're down. Why can't I be this way or that way?
yeah,
Instead of just meeting ourselves where we're at.
yeah,
And that stuff is so important. And I do believe in sometimes, and I think grief is a whole other topic.
hmm,
Grief, we definitely have to work through everything on a certain level and going to talking about it and even talking group therapy and things like that, I think is
yeah,
so important when my focus is healing from childhood trauma. And so often I think we can stay stuck in it.
hmm,
So are we feeling what we need to feel because it's just really time to feel it, or are we kind of staying stuck in that?
yeah,
And when we're staying stuck in it, we're kind of allowing that trauma to continue to impact us, continue to hurt us.
yeah,
The echoes of trauma can go on
yes,
forever if we allow it.
yeah.
So, one of the episodes that you had talked about that I just loved was the gratitude perspective.
Oh,
And I get to do it instead of I
hmm.
have to do it.
Yeah, it's those small little shifts that, and we're all human. It's like I feel like I am a knowledge junkie, audibles,
Hmm.
podcasts, documentaries, and I feel like I have
Yeah.
so much information in me. And here I know these things, but it takes practice. I did that episode, I know that, but I still say I have to. I have,
Yeah.
so it's just
Yeah.
a constant reminder and practicing it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I,
those little shifts. Yeah.
yeah. I actually have a story that I say a lot with doing something new and doing
Okay.
something that's just a little bit different than the habit that we're in.
Yeah.
And so it's the neural pathways. And I know
Yep.
you've talked about responding versus reacting, which is all
Yeah.
the brain stuff too, which I love. But when we do something new, we're trying to, okay, I really want to say I get to, or fill in the
Yeah.
blank with anything that we're doing that's new. The
Yeah.
very first time we do something, our brain is creating a neural pathway. So it's going from the axon to the dendrite, and there is no pathway. So, what it is, the metaphor or whatever analogy that I give, is
Yeah.
it's like an overgrown forest, and we're taking a machete and we're cutting down that path. We're creating that pathway.
Yeah.
The second time we do it, it's not a clear path. You did it enough to get through it, but you still have to
Okay.
take that machete and do it again.
Yeah.
Third time, you're still clearing that path. And until that path is cleared, it's still a little bit of struggle. It's still something that we have to think about and focus on.
Yeah.
Once we do it enough, that neural pathway becomes like a slip and slide.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is so
Yeah.
automatic.
Yep.
And the way that we were doing things is already the slip and slide. So it's so easy to revert back. So depending
Yeah.
on what it is, I get to versus I have to, seeing the gratitude, we can just try and keep focusing on the gratitude. But if it's something
Yeah.
like quitting smoking or changing a bad, quote unquote, bad habit that we have,
Yeah.
then we're also needing to let that that slip and slide old habit pathway
Oh, yeah.
kind of get overgrown. So it's not, we don't fall
Yeah.
back into it as we're focused on the new way. But the
Absolutely.
more we do
Yeah.
it, it's gonna get there.
I have so many like catchphrases in a lot of my podcast episodes. People are like, you need to put that on t-shirts and whatnot. But another good one is whatever you resist, persist. Anything
Yes.
that's uncomfortable, the unknown is scary. But
Yeah.
I always say too, it's like, when was the last time you tried something that scared you and how did it
Yeah.
work out? Usually good, but
Right.
we're so used to taking the same route to work every day or
Yeah.
going to the same coffee shops or restaurants because
Yeah.
it's scary sometimes,
Right.
but yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. I
yeah,
love that one. What you resist persists.
yeah,
What you focus on expands.
yes,
That's the other
yep,
thing. And
yeah.
that's going back to gratitude for that. Have you ever heard this little technique that there's two of them that I really is just one, just writing down 3 to 5 things every night for what you're grateful for?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. And then also I've heard of making a gratitude jar, just cutting up little
I've done
pieces
it.
of
Yep,
paper.
I
Yeah.
have one of those on my little altar. Yeah.
Yeah. I love
And I
that.
have one here at the shop too that
Yeah.
anybody can come up and I have a stack and they just write and then every like couple months I'll go through it and it's so cool
Love
just
that.
reading. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and that's the thing with the jar. The reason why I like the jar is because then if you're ever feeling down or slipping back into a negative frame of mind
Yeah.
or anything, you can just pick up one of them and just read something
Yeah.
magical and say, reconnect with it.
Oh
And
yeah.
then, and I guess this kind of goes with both of them, the jar and the notebook. But if you're doing this every day, at first you're like, okay, what was I grateful for today? And you really have to think about it.
Yeah.
After doing it a couple days, then you're going to be like, oh, let me look for things I'm grateful for so I can write it tonight. And
Yes.
then that
Yeah.
shift that now you're starting to, what you focus on expands.
Yeah.
Now you're starting to look for things to be grateful for,
Because
and
there's so much to be
there's
grateful
so
for.
much
Yeah.
all around us.
Uh,
And the whole I get to versus I have to, paying bills.
oh
I
yeah.
get to pay my
Yeah.
mortgage, to
Yep.
have a house, a roof over my head. I get to pay my car payment. And that transportation, you can see I was in the
Yeah.
sun all
I
day.
know.
I got to travel up to St.
Yeah.
Pete and go to the beach and do different
It's
things.
those little shifts are game changers.
They're
For
game
sure. And that's funny that
changers.
you bring up gratitude because I get in habits where I'm doing something consistently and I have my routines and I'll be consistent for months and then I'll fall off for a little bit and get back in. But gratitude is actually one that just maybe 2 days ago I got back
Mhm.
into and I was journaling, but then I came across this gratitude app. I forget what it's
Oh,
called, but
okay.
it's the gratitude like circle. So you can invite friends and then you have
Okay.
like your tribe and you can have multiple rooms and stuff. And so every day you get in or you get on and log them and you can see each other's because I like having
Yeah.
accountability partners for things too. It
Hmm.
just kind of,
Hmm. Yeah.
inspires me and then it can send you positive affirmations and whatnot. So I just started that the other day too. So
Oh, I love
yeah,
that.
yeah,
That's really cool. Yeah.
yeah,
And having that support system,
yeah,
again, kind of going back to the isolation, doing things
yeah.
in isolation. And it's interesting. I want to expand on that. And I think you had talked about this too, about alone time.
Oh, yeah.
Alone time is so valuable.
Oh, yeah.
Being with ourselves, being comfortable with being ourselves, being in a quiet state, not having to always have sound on in the background or
Yeah.
distractions going on. That alone time is so powerful.
Oh, yeah. And I'm very good at that. I'm very much an extrovert and I love socializing and love being around
Mhm.
people, but I'm very much an introvert too. Like
Mm,
I love my alone time a lot.
yeah. Have you
Yeah.
ever done the DISC personality assessment?
No. Disc?
Yeah, DISC. So
Uh-uh.
I don't know how my hands are going to be if
Yeah.
we're mirrored or not, but so imagine a circle, four quadrants. So
Okay.
the upper quadrant is extrovert, the lower quadrant is introvert,
Okay.
and then on the left side of the circle is task oriented. The
Mm.
right side of the circle is people oriented.
Okay.
And I love this because it
Yeah, I've never
really
done that.
does, yeah, it really does show like when you're talking with people in a relationship with somebody or whatever it may be, just the differences. So D is a extroverted task person.
Okay.
I would be an extroverted people person. So a lot of the things that people say about I's is the performers.
Oh, so you're either a D, okay. I
Yeah,
gotcha.
you probably have one that's a more primary, but
Okay.
I'm like a heavy SC.
Okay. Oh,
So
I'm
like
totally doing that after this
yeah,
episode. I
it's
love
so
that kind of
cool.
stuff.
It's so cool.
So
Yeah.
awesome.
And so I am so SC is introvert. I am
Okay.
100% introverted. I am not an extrovert. I regroup when I am alone, but
Yeah.
I have the people person. My S
Yeah.
is introverted people person, and that's the
Okay.
highest, but
Oh,
it's pretty much SC, which
yeah.
is introverted task person. So I'm 100% introverted, but I have the
Huh.
people and the task.
So is there like a website for our listeners who are like, "Ooh, I want to do
Yeah,
this to go take the
yeah,
test?"
there is. And I actually got certified in it. And
Okay.
it's been a while since I've kept my focus up. I actually should just go and double check that and see
Yeah.
if I can start giving it because
I'm
it's,
excited.
yeah, it's really great. But if you just type up DISC, I think
Oh,
it's
I'm sure
just
it'll pop right up.
personalities
Yeah.
assessment.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And one of the things that they do say is you should really do it 3 times
Yeah.
because the first time you're thinking
You're
about the
thinking, yep.
answers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just going
Okay.
to your authentic self with
Yeah.
it. But it's
Okay.
really cool. And
Cool.
then to also and my program, I'm really helping women who've experienced childhood trauma, but later in life, I do want to do co-parenting. I
Oh,
had
yeah.
over a decade in child welfare, and I just see the toxicity of when that's negative.
I
That's
think
another
that's
thing
so
I so
awesome.
admire about you. I heard the episode where you are still in touch with your stepkids and,
Yeah.
with the mom of the stepkids. And I
Yeah.
just love that because
It's
some
about the kids.
of the kids,
It's about the kids.
yeah,
Yeah.
they were so connected with you.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, because you're not dating their father anymore, all of a sudden you're not
Yeah.
there. No, I think that's so
Yeah.
powerful when that can stay connected.
Yeah.
So I love that. And so
Thank you.
one day I'm going to focus on co-parenting. That's in my
I
heart
think
as
that's so
well.
awesome.
And that's part of the Raising Emotionally Healthy Children
Yeah.
mission that I have.
Yeah.
But to really kind of know the difference between yourself and the other person, if you, I wonder, I really want you to let me know what you are because you said introvert and extrovert. I
Yeah.
wonder if you're going to have two, one from
Yeah.
above and one from below.
Probably.
Yeah.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what that
Yeah,
is
me
all
too.
about. Yeah. But it really helps us understand too, if we can understand our differences. Now, there are some differences in people where we're just not compatible, and that's
Yeah.
okay too. But if you're with a partner that has a little bit of a difference from you, the five love languages, have you,
Oh, that's a good
yeah,
one. Yep.
such a good
That's a
one.
really good one.
So it's just understanding the differences and respecting the differences. And then sometimes one person has to stand up a little bit more, and sometimes the other. One of the things, and I don't think this has anything to do with personality traits or
Yeah.
anything, but I'm have always been a little bit on the late side. Mom,
Okay.
I love you. I got it from my mom. But so me being a little bit on the late side,
Yeah.
my stepfather was always on the early side.
Okay.
So
You
that
kind of,
wasn't 100% compatible.
yeah.
So he needed to be gentle with me on the times that I'm working and I'm just dropping by. And I say I'm going to be there at 2, like, don't expect me to be there at 2.
Yeah.
But if we're leaving to go to something, we're meeting for dinner, I had to be the one that stepped up and said, okay, this is important for,
Yeah.
I need to respect that time.
Yeah.
So it's knowing that,
I,
and yeah, go ahead.
yeah. I think it's so important. That's one of my favorite things, especially when it comes to dating or even friendships, but learning your partner. Understanding, Austin was so excited when I taught him. Are you familiar with human design?
So I am familiar with it. I'm not,
Okay.
I don't know it.
Okay.
I know
So
what it is.
okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, human design, I love astrology, and human design has taught me more about myself than anything I think I've came across, and
Mhm.
just understanding why I was the way I was as a kid. And
Yeah.
I think it's really important to understand and learn your partner, because so many
Mhm.
relationships, they just keep going in circles, or
Yeah.
they expect the other one to see things the way they see them.
Yeah.
But when you dig into people's charts, it's just, I've helped so many couples with this. They're like, oh my God, that makes sense. You just have a better understanding, and it just kind of like clicks, when you
Yeah.
learn. And not only that, but what's their trauma? What was their upbringing like,
Right. Yeah.
So I think it's really important to learn the people that you're around the most and the people you love. And I
Absolutely.
think something that I've been really thinking about this, but more parents need to start doing like charts on their children.
Yes.
I had a
Yes.
girlfriend message me today, and she said, hey, I'd really like to do a past life reading for her son. He's super young. I think he's 7. And she was like, he keeps loving all these sad songs and about heartbreak and the same stuff.
Mhm.
And then there's more to that. But yeah, there's probably a reason for it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's really important that parents would dig into their child's birth charts, human design, all of
Yeah.
that. Like you said,
I
preventative, and
Right.
yeah,
Prevention is so important. Yeah.
yeah,
I had one of my mentors who I just love. Her name is Janine Fitzgerald, and she gets kids. And I
yeah.
did a lot of trainings with her back in the day when my focus was parenting and children. And one of the things that she talks about, she actually does talk about the five love languages with
Okay.
your children,
Yeah.
understanding those differences. And she talked about how being loved and feeling loved are two
Mm,
distinctly different things. And she talked about how her and her mother did not have the same love languages. Her brother and her mother did.
okay.
She did have her dad's love language, but her dad was in that disciplinarian role as
Yeah.
well as working so often. So she really wasn't feeling loved in her household, even though she knows she's loved. She's worked through it and everything. So, really understanding that child. Here's a perfect example of,
Yeah.
there are some children that need time to get there. So, hey, bud, we're leaving in 15 minutes versus, all right, we got to go now. That
Yeah.
can, one can spiral one kid out of control, and one can, it's the child's language. So
Yeah.
really understanding where they are in their personality and just their
So
whole
important.
temperament. Yeah.
Yeah.
All of that is Yeah. And just being open to it. I do joke because sometimes I say pronouns too much so people don't understand when I'm talking about two women and I say she did this.
Oh,
One of my
yeah.
friends is, which she? Which one are
Yeah.
you talking about? And I joke, I'm like, it's clear in my head. Why can't you stay with it?
Yeah.
Well, it's clear in my head. Yeah.
Right.
So just
Yeah.
really having that communication and knowing and understanding yeah,
Because
with
we're
all
all
of
so
them.
different. Every single one of us, you can take 10 people listening to a seminar, and every single person is going to
Yeah,
take away something different, you know?
absolutely. And it's
Yeah.
what connects with them. One of my
Yeah.
sayings is everyone has their own circumstances and reasons why.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's interesting, we're talking about some of the different things that the human design and things like that.
Hmm.
One of the reasons I haven't really gotten into it is I'm more psychology focused.
I love
So
that.
we talk about manifesting. I believe in manifesting, but it's more that reticular activating
The
system,
Raz.
the RAS,
Yeah.
yeah, that I am so a believer in. And I believe in our inner knowing. I really believe in
Me
that.
too.
And with my clients, however they want to tie that in, that works for
Yeah.
them. But I really want them to know it's inside them. They have
Absolutely.
it. And
Yeah.
sometimes traumas will disconnect our connection to that inner knowing because the inner critic comes up, the self-doubt comes up, and those voices can be so loud.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like the inner knowing is louder, but sometimes we can't hear it over the other things.
For sure.
And that's why working through everything, finding out that inner critic isn't our authentic voice.
Yeah.
That inner critic is something that we learned, something that we
Absolutely.
experienced that caused us to doubt ourselves, play that loop in our head. And
Yeah.
now it's stuff that we need to really
Oh,
work
yeah. We're
through.
always seeking outside validation, where that's something I've worked really hard on and I'm still
Mhm.
continuing to. That trusting myself and not going to somebody else to get that, yeah, it's good. If I
Yeah,
say, hey, listen to this, is it good? I need to go inwards. And if I feel it's good, then it's good.
yeah,
Yes, it's good. I love constructive criticism, I love
yeah,
feedback and whatnot.
yeah.
But ultimately, like you say, just going inwards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's interesting because everybody has their own personalities, their own circumstances and reasons why, their own ways of communicating and everything.
Yeah,
What works for me might not work for you,
absolutely.
might not work for them. And so, really, especially when we're working with clients, we're going to find the people that connect with us
Yeah,
and we're going to help the people that resonate and connect.
yeah,
Are you feeling comfortable with that person? There's so much to really consider when working with somebody, and you don't want to force anything. If it doesn't
no,
feel right, that's okay.
100%. And I
Yeah.
always tell people too when they come in, because I've had multiple Reiki healers or people that offer the same things. And the first thing I tell them is do a session with each of them, see who you
Yeah.
resonate with. And
Yeah.
I have been going to healers and for years and years, and I have several different where I'm like, this isn't a match for me. And I
Yeah.
have people that I see consistently. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's finding the right person for you. Yeah.
Right, right. And it's every person is going to be right for somebody, and
Yeah.
it's finding the right person for you.
And the timing too, right now where you're at with that healer, well, maybe you're evolving super fast and now you need somebody. It's just, you can't say, oh, this is who you need to go to. And yeah, you have to
Right,
find your right people
right.
for
I
sure.
always think about putting the square peg in the round hole.
Yeah.
Don't force
Yeah.
it. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. And I love all of that you do. And there's so many people that really need to hear all of the stuff that you're talking about, that you have Reiki healing, the crystals, I know there's a couple other
Oh,
healing things
breath
that
work
are
and
shadow
tantra
work
and
and
shadow work. Yeah.
yeah,
We do a little bit of everything here. Yeah. I try to be that place where we have a little bit of everything, light,
yeah,
dark, and who am I to say this is good, this isn't. And also we're the podcast that we talk about anything and everything.
yeah,
It's a safe
yeah.
space for people to feel seen and heard, and people who are fearful going into recording, oh, I don't know, I'm that person. I help them understand it's okay if those people are
Yeah.
gonna judge you, then that episode isn't meant for
Yeah.
them and whatnot.
Right.
But yeah, it's
Yeah.
removing the outside
Yeah.
noise and opinions to where it keeps people from sharing or doing the thing they want to do or talking about what they
Absolutely.
want to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah. And when people have judgments, that is not about the person they're
Yep.
judging. That is the internal thing. And that's one thing that I really like to, and where my positive living piece of it
Yeah.
comes in, because there, I don't think there's any place for judgment.
Yeah.
Again, okay, that's not right for me. But I've heard people say, oh, well, that person's an idiot because blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wait, no, they're not an idiot.
Yeah.
That's their thing. And they're resonating with the people that resonate with them. Okay,
Yeah.
that person isn't I have a friend that says cup of tea. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Um, but it's that judgment. If we're judging others that critically, what are we saying about ourselves?
Well, it's a reflection.
It's a
Yeah, the unhealed
reflection.
parts of
Yeah.
ourselves. Yeah.
So for the listeners that catch themselves doing that, I
Yeah.
think that's like a sign of, all right, what I don't want to
Time to go inwards.
time to go inwards.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a perfect way to say it.
Yeah.
And reflect on it. And if they're having a truly negative mindset and not having that gratitude, again, sometimes we're okay, well, we're fine. Okay, my life
Hmm.
is fine. But are you living joyfully? Are you living
Yeah.
happily? Life is so short.
And who wants their life to just be fine? That's the way I
Yeah,
think about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
We're all on different paths, and that's one
yeah,
thing I've learned too is
yeah.
can't be a fixer and a saver. I used to just
To
people
everybody.
pleasing.
Yeah,
Yes, and I help people now who want my help.
yes,
It
yeah,
used to be really hard. It's gotten easier because
yeah,
I want to dig in there and help, but a lot of people aren't ready to hear it. It's
yeah,
not their time.
yeah, yeah.
But we're always planting seeds, so that too.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And that's right. There are going to be people that are just more comfortable. And that is one thing that it's important to know. Our comfort zone is sometimes comfortable only because it's familiar.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
really not a comfortable comfort zone, but it's familiar, so it's more comfortable than the unknown.
Yeah.
But if they're not ready to face it, if they're not ready to change it, if they don't want to change it,
Yeah. Yeah.
all of that's okay.
Yeah.
Meeting them where they're at. For the ones that want to change it, but aren't, not kicking themselves when they're down,
Yes. Yeah.
but just being now open to exploring and seeing, okay, maybe this is my time to face it and change it, or maybe I am that in that fine. Is it okay if I swear?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yes.
The fine, fucked up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I always had the I'm gonna be okay. My whole life, I've always had the I'm gonna be okay. And it was a great place to be because the
Yeah.
different things I did in my life, I knew I was always gonna be okay. But one day I'm like, I want to be better than okay.
Right.
Like this, I
Yeah.
need to strive for way better than
Yeah.
okay.
And that's something I learned too. I've had a ton of people in my life where they're just happy and they're
Yeah,
content
yeah,
and they're doing life, and that's great for
it's
them. That's
great.
not me. I
Yeah,
am somebody who wants to constantly evolve and
yeah,
thrive and explore and try new things. And as we're evolving, I say it all the time, like people are gonna fall off and it's
yeah,
family, it's friends.
yeah.
And as you evolve, you're gonna have other people who meet you where you're at and or they get left behind, and
Right, right.
that's okay.
And that's okay too.
Yeah,
I think you had said this in one of your podcasts too, the season. It's reason, season, or lifetime.
absolutely. Yeah,
And the people that are in it for the reason,
yeah,
great, get it, let go. No, it's fine that
yeah,
the paths part, that's
yeah,
okay. The
yeah.
season, that happens a
And
ton of
it's so
times
cool
too.
too. I love seeing because you think about your life and then you think about where you were a year ago and 5 years
Yeah.
ago. And I was just reflecting yesterday, thinking about the groups of people and the
Mhm.
conversations I used to have compared to
Yeah.
now. And it's now I'm surrounded by people who we get into the deep stuff, the challenges. We love the
Yeah.
constructive criticism. How can I be
Yeah.
better? Instead of the,
Yeah.
no, I didn't, or no, I'm not that way,
Right.
the instant reaction versus,
Yeah.
know, so it's really cool to look at, and think
Yeah.
back to how we used to handle things and just how much
Yeah.
you've evolved it over time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's something that I do have a course called Manage Your Temper.
Oh,
And it's, yeah, it's that reactionary, it's a respond versus react thing.
yeah.
And that's one of the, again, people have to be ready where they are. But if they
Yeah.
find themselves reacting, getting defensive, and being reactionary, like that's definitely a time to look inward too.
Yeah.
One of the things that I always say is, what is the impact to yourself? What is the impact to others? And everything I say is without judgment. It's just with awareness, it's with noticing. And when we're okay with where we are, great. But if you
Yeah.
want better, if you want to do better, if you're seeing, well, gosh, I'm awfully judgmental towards myself, I'm awfully judgmental towards others, I'm awfully reactionary, and then I feel guilty about it later, that's a sign it's time to dive in and work
Oh,
on
yeah.
it.
Yeah. I
And
think the way I explain to people is like you were saying earlier, where mirror sense a reflection, recognize anytime you start to feel that way, or if somebody starts to get a reaction out of you, it's an unhealed part of yourself and you're meant to go inwards. But I think a part where people struggle is I see a lot of people who are aware of that. Oh, shoot,
mhm,
I'm starting to get that way. But
mhm,
then they are struggling getting to the root of that. Where does it
yeah,
stem from? So,
yeah,
do you have any advice on that as far as like the steps to start taking for those people who are aware and want to heal those triggers but don't
yeah.
really know how?
Yeah. Well, and that's where I think it's definitely important to find somebody to support you with it. Now,
Yeah,
sometimes that could be a really supportive friend. I think it's usually better with a professional just
yeah,
because there's so much more that can happen that, the friend
mm-hmm,
can more coddle you with it
yeah,
and, a professional can really work on that. My coaching program, it's a 3-month coaching program called Path to Empowerment, and I
okay,
use the ABLE method. And it's ABLE is AIBL.
okay, I haven't heard that.
Yeah. So A is awareness.
Okay,
And I'm going to say A and I together because they're a little bit tied in with each other, awareness and impact.
mm.
And the reason why I want to tie those in together is because I don't focus a lot on that.
Oh,
My
okay,
I focus my first 2 weeks are on that, but then the rest of it is on the rest that I'll talk about in a minute.
okay,
But the awareness, I truly don't believe we need to know exactly when it started and pinpoint exactly when it happened. Sometimes the stuff can be in utero.
mm-hmm,
Sometimes it can be when we're so young that we're not going to remember. And
yeah,
sometimes it can be when we were old enough to remember, but we're just not ready to. And we don't have to relive things and rehash things to handle it.
okay,
When we do, sometimes we need a therapeutic way because
yeah,
they can help process it. Or it could be EMDR, it could be Reiki, it could be any of those other things too, but in my program itself, I don't want to relive it. It's not
okay,
about picking at that scab, if you will.
yeah, yeah,
But I like to just shine the light on it. Is this something that I felt ever since I was a child? Or is it something that, yeah, I really just recently started feeling this way? Just having some sort of awareness on where it came from, or mainly that it came from somewhere, because usually
okay,
our stuff is a result of
yeah,
an experience that we
oh,
had,
yeah, for
that
sure,
we internalized and all that. So the impact I is, where is it still echoing in your life? So that awareness is kind of focusing on where it came from. Again, not having to relive it or know
yeah,
exactly where it is, but just a notice of something. And then the I is, where is it still echoing in your life? There's people that have addictions. There's people that
mm,
that are agoraphobic. There are people that, I can't ever. A simple example of this is
yeah,
even the parent that's afraid of a spider. So the way
yeah.
they react in front of a spider, now all of a sudden that child's afraid of a spider.
Oh, yeah. That's me
Yeah.
with bees. I'm like,
Yeah.
I have a million tattoos. I've never been stung, but a
Uh-huh.
bee comes near me and I'm out. And my
Yeah.
mom literally would run. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I had to have gotten that from
Yeah,
her.
that was
Yeah.
such a modeled behavior.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
I was
much.
with a lady I worked with. I had brought her to actually one of her therapy appointments. And all of a sudden there was a bee, and I don't run for cover, but I'm definitely skittish
Yeah.
about it. and she just kind of went like this and let it land on her finger.
Oh no,
I
heck
was
no.
like, oh my gosh. And she was so gentle and kind with it.
I have
And
friends like that too,
yeah,
spiders, bees. I'm like,
yeah,
no thanks.
yeah.
Not for me.
And just to kind of point that out, like
Yeah.
sometimes the results of these things, sometimes we're okay with that. I don't want
Yeah.
to go and befriend a
Yeah.
spider. I'm okay
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah, me too.
But how is it impacting? How is it echoing
Yeah.
in your life? Is it holding you back? If I'm trying to think of another analogy with an animal, but I'm not going to think about that.
Yeah.
But is it, are you deathly afraid of flying? Are you deathly afraid of speaking to people? Do you get
Yeah.
anxious speaking in a meeting? Do you get anxious and these different things? How is it
Yeah.
impacting you? Is that inner critic, that self-doubt? Like you can't move
Hmm.
forward with something because you're riddled with self-doubt.
Yeah.
That stuff is the impact, and really understanding that, to me, that's like the pain pleasure principle. Because sometimes if we're okay and we're fine, because we're not really understanding that impact,
Yeah.
then okay, we're going to just keep letting it impact us. But if we're
Yeah.
ready to let it go because we're sick of the way it's impacting, we're sick of these echoes that are still just controlling us and still
Mm.
keeping us the weight of the trauma. So again, those two are just really connecting with it. And then the heart of my program is B, and that's just believing in yourself, building that self-worth.
Yeah.
That's the main part of my program, and why I do it is because my self-worth was crushed when I was 3 years old. My first grade school records, they talk about how I was so shy. I couldn't, I didn't have a voice. I was
Yeah.
just, and I just remember the pain that that caused. I remembered the deep, intense insecurities. And I spent a lot of time working through all of
Hmm.
that in my adulthood, not in my childhood. I kind of got over some stuff and got out of my shell a little bit
Yeah.
more, but I didn't heal from the stuff until my 20s and 30s. But the core of it is really just building that self-worth, because we all have worth. Just being born, we are worthy,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
And
So, in your program, what would you say? Say you have somebody who is eager to heal and
yeah,
do the work and totally does believe in their self,
yeah,
but what would be like the core part of that on, is it just you and that person talking through it, or do you have like certain exercises that help
yeah.
them kind of like get rid of that
Yeah.
fear?
So yeah, both. The exercises are really just reflections.
Okay.
That, and I do sometimes wonder if I would want to do something, emotional freedom technique or things like
Yeah.
that. But right now, it's really, I think, just really shining that light on it, really understanding. One of the things, like when that insecurity comes up, the fear comes up.
Hmm.
I think what ends up happening is we go in our head. And because we have physiological reactions to things,
Yeah.
things get amplified so much. And now we're not even, because we're so focused on those physiological reactions, we're just, trying to push things down, not feeling what we
Yeah.
need to feel. And the
Yeah.
biggest thing that helped me with that kind of final piece, I did a lot of different things, but the thing that really helped me with that final piece was just noticing the heartbeat, noticing
Mm.
oh, I'm going in my head, instead of just going in my head, letting that take control. And then, oh my God, this is going to be the worst thing in the world, catastrophizing everything and just going in circles, where, no, it's like, oh, okay, you know what? I can feel my heart beating a little bit faster. I can feel that stuff coming up. That noticing the self-compassion is another thing that's really heavy in my program, because so
Okay.
often when we do these things, we're criticizing ourselves, condemning
Hmm.
ourselves. So my program, we meet weekly,
Okay.
but I have a lot of exercises that they do. And one of the things that I really do is individualize it. There are people that really need that support in going through those
Yep.
exercises. And then there are some people that are like, nope, give me the homework. And I just want to have full attention
Yeah.
on talking through things for the session.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of whatever the client needs in that
As it should
moment.
be. Yeah, because we're all
Yeah,
different, like we were saying in the beginning, and at
exactly.
different places. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's really kind of getting in touch with where it is. Okay, I'm really ready to let this go. Okay, what is it that's still keeping you
Okay.
there?
Yeah.
And that's the kind of weeks, it's the whole phase 2 and weeks 4 through 8, or
Okay.
well, really 4 through 10
Yeah.
is focusing on that. And then the final 2 weeks is living. It's knowledge and implementation are two different
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And in my program, we are implementing the living piece through from the whole part of it. But the last 2 weeks focuses on, okay, once I'm gone, how you're going to continue living it and not
Mm-hmm.
slip back to that old neural pathway
Yeah.
that we were in for so long and really solidifying it so they keep it forever.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds like a really amazing course.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the what I see the benefits of, it's just profound.
Oh, I bet. I think
Yeah.
that's my favorite part about what I do and why I do it is the transformation in
Yeah.
people, where they
Yeah.
started, and knowing that you were a part of helping them heal the trauma
Yeah.
and find joy in their life and
Yeah.
heal their relationship, all of the above.
Yeah. Stop
Yeah, the
carrying the weight of the
transformation.
past that was
Yeah.
never theirs to carry.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think too, like we were saying, everybody like needs to find their own timing, their own people, and
Yeah.
trying all the things. I
Yeah.
love trying,
Yeah.
acupuncture,
Hmm.
EMDR, hypnotherapy,
Yeah.
like try because some things that people love work great for them, but
Yeah.
don't work for other people. Like me,
Yeah.
I have a couple people who can sit there and meditate for an hour. Oh,
Yeah.
hell no, that is not me. At 5 minutes, I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm just, that doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
have other practices, and I talk about that in a podcast episode too, where finding different tactics. We're all wired so differently. Where do you need it physically? You need a checklist. I'm a Virgo.
Yeah.
I need my checklist. I have
Hmm.
to have it. It
Yeah.
gets me excited. I get more done.
Yeah.
You just got to keep trying all the things. If it's not working, then try something different. Try something different.
Absolutely.
You know, y-
Absolutely. Because you'll
you'll get
find
there,
it.
but you got to find the different things in
Absolutely.
different ways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm right there with you with meditating. I love to sit there and just be with myself and be
Yeah.
quiet, maybe listen to something, but I more often just do mindfulness
Yes.
and being there. When I walk outside, every time I walk outside, I shouldn't say every time because I'm not,
Yeah.
I want to every time, but so often when I walk outside, I just look at the sky, look at the green
Yeah.
trees, look at that, just the beauty of the world and be
Yeah.
in that moment.
What do you see? What do you smell?
Yeah.
What do you feel? Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's one of the techniques that I do believe in when people are feeling it, list
Mm-hmm.
5 blue things in the room. All of a sudden
Yeah.
you're looking around the room and you're seeing the 5 things. It's taking you from your amygdala back to your prefrontal
Yeah.
cortex. And our
Yeah.
amygdala takes over when we're fearful or anything negative.
Yeah.
So we need to just get back here.
Yeah. And it's practice
Yeah,
every time. Yeah. It's not just gonna,
absolutely.
okay, tomorrow we're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
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 Definitely.
Continuing to do it. So,
Yeah.
one story that I want to leave us with is the starfish story. I've said
Okay.
this a ton of times, and it just came up the other day for me again. And now I've said it a couple times this week that it just reminded me. Have you ever heard of that starfish
No,
story where,
no, I'm excited.
so the story goes, and then I add a little bit to it, that thousands of starfish were, and I'm not good at verbatim, by the way. So
That's
I butcher
okay.
it. If
That's
anyone
okay.
knows this, I'm not good at verbatim, but a ton of starfish wash up onto the shore. And so they're on the sand. They're going to die if they stay there. And a little boy, after the storm, the little boy is walking along the beach, picks up a starfish, throws it back in the water, picks up another fish, throws it back in the water, and is saving these starfish. And some other guy comes up to him and says, "Why are you even bothering with that? You're never going to clear the beach because there's thousands of them."
Mm,
And the little boy picks up another starfish, throws it in the water, and says, "I made a difference to that one."
mm,
And I love that story
yeah.
and how I feel with what we do
Yeah.
is you and me together with your team of people.
Yeah.
with, I found out my neighbor is on a very similar path to what I'm
Oh, that's
doing
so
recently.
awesome.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, you got to be on my podcast that I'm starting.
Yes. Yes.
All of us
It's a ripple
are,
effect.
it's a ripple effect, and together we're going to clear the beach. And one other thing that I was thinking too, to add to it, the us as healers,
Yeah.
as trauma-informed people that are working with people, we're working together to clear that beach, but the person that we help also
Mhm.
joins that,
Oh,
because
yeah.
that is a ripple effect. When they're healed, they're better within themselves, they're
Yeah.
their best self. If they have children, it impacts the children, it impacts their relationships, it
It goes a
impacts
lot
just
further than we think. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I had a woman that I had met one time. She was a household member of a domestic violence home.
Mm.
And this was a long time ago. I was getting film developed, the 1 hour photo.
Oh, yeah.
So I went twice to this, it was Rite Aid at the time.
Yeah.
But I had gone in and I saw her there. An hour later, I came back and she just looked down. And I saw that and I asked how she was doing. And she's like, people just have been so dismissive to me. They're walking by, I don't even exist. And she was really struggling with that. And so I stopped, I talked to her, I asked her about her story, and then I asked her if I could get her a drink inside.
Mm.
So I not only got her a drink, but I got her a couple other things that she could take back to that home. And she actually waited for me because someone had come. She was ending what she was doing. She's like, oh, somebody's inside getting me a drink. So let's just sit tight. Her whole demeanor had already changed just by
Oh,
being seen, valued, and heard. That's one of my full beliefs too.
yes.
And she said, oh, he came, we're going to go out to lunch. And I thought about it, the way that the state that she was in when I first got there versus the state she was in when she left, that lunch was better. Her interactions with the wait staff was better. Her day and that ripple effect, it just matters.
It's so powerful.
Yeah.
One small compliment.
Yeah.
Think about when you receive a compliment, like, you look
Yeah.
really pretty today. It instantly
Yeah.
boosts your vibration. And that's
Yeah.
something that Austin was just very, very big on.
Yeah.
I always thought of myself before he came into my life. I'm like, okay, I'm doing pretty good. I'm a good
Yeah.
person. I have a good heart. I treat people well. But I'll tell you, he changed me forever just because
Mm.
he was so just any and every interaction. We'd
Yeah.
be at a grocery store, whatever, he opening the door or, hey, how's it? Just conversation. And
Yeah.
sometimes I'd be like, oh, how do you do that all the time? Aren't you tired?
Right.
But I think about that every day. He
Yeah.
just lit up every room, and because he believed in just the love for people,
Yeah.
connection.
Yeah.
And it's so true.
And
Yeah.
that ripple effect that he made on all of those
Yeah.
people's lives,
Yeah.
so important,
Yeah.
so important. And he wants you to continue that.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And
Yeah.
that is another part that when I am having those moments of feeling just lower down, Austin believed in me so much and
Yeah.
just in what I'm building, what I'm doing. And he was very connected. He was very tapped in, and I'm doing all these sessions trying to connect. And he was like, babe, like, you don't even see it, but what you're doing and where you're going. And he just, yeah, he saw it. And I do believe in myself. And it makes me so happy coming across and meeting other people who are doing the
Yeah.
same because I know how powerful it is. And
Mhm.
just, I can tell now, like, that's one thing I've learned too is not just hearing the words people speak, but
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah.
I can tell the authenticity behind
Yeah.
people, and I can feel it. And so that's what lights
Awesome.
me up is coming across other people that just,
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, more people
Yeah.
are awakening, and it's a beautiful thing for
Yeah.
sure.
And honoring where your energy is at is huge.
Yeah.
And your listeners that have gone through a similar experience that are like, oh, I want to be here, but they're not ready to be there.
Yeah.
Again, knowing that all of that is okay and
Yeah.
being gentle with yourself, being kind with yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you'll get to where you need to be. And I just love that you're doing the work and feeling it
Thank you.
and all that you're doing. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
It's
And
so
thank you for
nice.
doing what you do. And I'm just so happy, again, so grateful, just all the connections, and
Yeah.
we can all learn a
Again,
lot from each other.
yeah. And we're going to clear that beach.
Yes, yes, we're clear. Here's to clearing the
Yeah,
beach. Yes, I
I
love
love
it.
it.
Oh,
I love it. And I just love being able to connect with everyone too, and everybody really getting in touch with their inner trust and their inner knowing. And
yeah.
yeah, thank you so much for having me
Thank
on.
you. And do you have
Yeah,
websites so if people want to book a session, or and you do
quick.
sessions and like your
Yeah.
programs, right?
Yeah, so so the coaching program itself is the program where I work the one-on-one. I do
Okay.
have 5 courses as well if they're
Okay.
interested. They're like, oh, I want to check some things out, but I'm not
Yeah.
ready for that. I do have 5 courses. My website is called positivelivingcoaching.com.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I have a services section on it for the courses. You can just go right on and buy it. For the
Okay.
coaching program, I do have a book a call because I really want to make sure we're the right fit. I don't want to just
Okay.
go and
Yeah,
start working with someone and it's not connecting. They need to
absolutely.
feel right about it. There's a little application there and then
And this
a
is all on
booking
your
call.
website.
And this is all on the website. Yeah, it's
Awesome.
under services and then they can go to the coaching and book a call with me.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yay.
thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you. We will definitely be doing more episodes, I hope,
Yes,
because I'm sure we could
absolutely.
talk about so many different things.
Yeah, I
But
don't even know how long it's been, but we could talk for
yeah,
hours, can't
yeah,
we?
I know. I know. But this was a really good start. And so, yeah,
Yes,
thank you so
absolutely.
much, Holly. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Tasha. I appreciate you.
We'll
Take
talk soon.
care. Absolutely. Bye bye.
Bye.